Buying a house is one of the most mentally challenging things you're ever going to do. When you look at the amount of money that the bank is letting you borrow based on what you make a month, based on the small down payment that we're putting, it just really makes your brain want to explode. Hey guys, my name is Javi, and I have helped thousands of home buyers buy their first house over the last few years. And I specialize primarily in people like me, people that didn't have any kind of financial literacy or any kind of education from their parents, because our parents were so busy surviving that they didn't really have time to teach us what to do with real estate or our money or anything like that. And so today we're going to talk about the most common mistakes first-time home buyers make so we can avoid them and we can learn from them so that way we are empowered to make better real estate decisions. Now, the first one is easier said than done, but it's something that's really important. That is, we allow our emotions to get in the way of getting a good deal. Listen, I hate to break it to you, but this housing market absolutely sucks. And right now, if you are buying a house, you need to absolutely make sure that you are buying well under market value to protect your future self. And everybody's on board with this decision. But once you see a house that you absolutely love, that you dream about, that you and your partner are just like, oh my gosh, this is it. We're going to raise our children here. We're going to have our dogs and our cats here. That decision just kind of fades away and it becomes more, what do we need to do to get this house? Let me break it down for you nice and easily. When you look at a house that you like, the first thing you need to do is have your agent reach out to the seller to see what the situation is. If it's a multiple offer situation, then consider if you even want to encounter and do the dance with the seller. Because when you're in a multiple offer situation, you're basically now in a pissing match with multiple buyers to see who's going to give the seller the most amount of money. Now, a lot of times this means that you're going to be buying a house above market value. And if you think, well, the appraisal is going to be fine, the appraisal usually just happens to magically land at whatever you offer. I'm not implying anything, but it's just interesting how that always works. So don't always rely on the appraisal. Now, if the seller tells you, well, there's no current offers, the next step is to run some numbers. Run the numbers. Don't get all emotional and sentimental yet. Figure out what the comparables are in the neighborhood, figure out what's going on in the zip code, and get a very good idea of what's happening data-wise. Don't look at the house as four walls and a door and a bucket full of memories. We're not there yet. Just look at it more as, how much money is this house going to lose me in the next 5 years? And if you think of it like that, you're going to have a very sharp mindset of what you need to offer. Because once you figure out what that market value is, you need to do your absolute best to get as much off that market value. And next, we consider the personal situation the seller's in. How many days on the market do they have? How good of a job do they market it? Do they need to sell for a reason? Are they going to go move somewhere else? And more importantly, what's their equity position? How much money are they set to make if they sell this house at the list price? Like if they're making $250K off the house, I'm going to lowball them because like, dude, I'm not going to overpay. You're making your money. Why are you complaining, right? The second common mistake that first-time home buyers make that kind of goes with the first one is they don't know when it's okay to walk away. And when I say walk away, I mean walk away. I have this problem with my daughter. I have a 9-year-old son and a 6-7-year-old daughter, and I have a little 1-year-old baby. My daughter runs my life. Like whatever she wants, she gets. And whenever she knows how to play me, it is what it is. Even my little baby, like she does something wrong and she's like, and we're like, Evie, and she just starts going, oh, you playing me kisses? Okay. And like, they know how to play me. My daughter, if she's like putting on a sales pitch of what she wants or what she needs, I need this Pokemon card deck or pack or whatever. And I just go, no, no, just it's not going to work. And at that point I need to walk away. But if I continue listening to her, then I'm like, oh, okay, fine. By walking away, I eliminate any potential yes and giving in, right? So for a lot of us, we don't know when that's the right time. So after we've analyzed the situation, we have a better idea of what we need to offer, and we finally make that offer, sometimes the seller's just not going to want to play ball. Sometimes they're just going to be offended by our offer. But I hate to break it to you guys, there's going to be some resistance, especially when you're trying to get a house under list price or trying to get heavy concessions. It's not going to be easy, right? If we wanted it to be easy, we can just give these sellers list price. It's not 2021 anymore. We can't be doing that. So there is going to be some resistance. And a lot of times the sellers are going to give us an entire brick wall. There's a speech by Randy Posh on YouTube 16 years ago. It's called Achieving Your Childhood Dreams. And it talks about brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are to show how badly we want something. Because the brick walls are there to stop the people who don't want something badly enough. And for us, a lot of times that brick wall is going to be a human flesh And before you get all weird, like, hey, I'm talking like Elden Ring or something. No, I mean literally the seller. Sometimes a seller is going to be in the way and they are just going to say, no, we're not taking your offer. It's too low. Guess what, my friends? Don't entertain it. If you give them the benefit of the doubt and you give them another solid counter and they're still being very stubborn, walk away. Don't be like Javi with his daughter. Walk away, because it's what's going to end up happening is the emotions of wanting that house is just going to keep you involved and keep you hooked, and you're going to give the seller what they want. And the appraisal will come in fine, and you're going to feel like about the house at appraised value, it's fine. No, you need to know when it's okay to walk away. Surprisingly, two things might happen when you walk away. They might come back and say, wait. Okay, fine, we'll work. Or you just keep on looking, and you need to actually move on from the house and keep looking. And who knows, maybe a month later, they're still there. They'll work with you then, or you'll be surprised. You might find something maybe not as good as that house, but maybe a seller that's a lot more willing to work with you. And the last common homebuyer mistake that I absolutely wish everyone, if there's like one thing you take from this video, please take this one. That is, you need to look at the people you hire as your team that works for you, not coaches there to guide you. Let me explain. If you want to buy a house, you call up your lender. Hey, what do I qualify for? They tell you what you qualify for. You want to buy a house. You call your real estate agent. Hey, I want to buy a house. Well, surprisingly, you can actually buy a house right now. You actually qualify. Next thing you know, you're buying a house. You're taking their lead the whole time. They're telling you what to offer. They're telling you what you need to do. They're telling you how it's a great time to buy. And surprisingly enough, you're going to buy. At the end of the day, you need to remember one thing, and I'm telling you this as a fellow real estate agent. Our license is not called real estate consultant. We're not called real estate financial advisors. If you look up what our license is called on any directory, it's called a real estate salesperson's license, okay? We are salespeople, and we're there to sell. And no matter how hard the situation, we're always going to be overly optimistic on what you can buy and what you can qualify for. The lenders are there to get you into a mortgage. They're not going to tell you what you can afford. They're going to tell you what you qualify for. Now, this may be ad nauseum, but maybe this is the first time you're watching me and this is the first time you're hearing this. But you need to not buy based on what you can qualify, based on what your real estate agent, based on what your lender is telling you. You need to do your own independent research on what it takes to buy a house and figure out what you can comfortably afford. In the description, I'll leave 3 videos that the combination of videos I've made and friends and videos that I find a really highly valued that you need to check out. That'll just give you a really good idea on what you need to know as a home buyer. Before you go hire a realtor, before you go hire a lender, before you go ask your uncle Pepe, hey Theo, what do you think? You know, he owns 5 houses, so he must know a lot. Hey Theo, can I buy a house? He bought when it was 2011 and they were super cheap. He doesn't know everything there is about real estate, okay? I'm gonna get a few nasty texts from some Theo Pepes out there, so heads up. You might not hear from me in a week. They might kidnap me. But do that independent research yourself. So you want a quick summary? I can give you a quick summary. Lenders usually just check out what 45% of your gross income is, and that is what they use to qualify you. Yeah, they do some more math, like they remove what debts you have and stuff like that. But if you make $10,000 gross, meaning before taxes, they probably will qualify you for a monthly payment of like $4,000 to $4,500 if you have low to little debts. Now, that sounds great and all, and if you talk to that lender first, you're going to go call mom and dad and say, woo, I qualified for a $4,000 house, and now you're buying yourself a really expensive house, and now you're finding yourself in the golden jail. Yes, it's beautiful and it's yours, but you're shackled in debt now. But if you did some research, you find out, hey, my mortgage payment shouldn't be more than 25 or 30% of my take-home net income, not my gross income, my take-home income. So that way you go talk to the lender and you say, this is the mortgage payment I need to qualify for. What price works for me? You go to talk to your agent. This is the price I need in a house. When you recommend any neighborhoods or what do you suggest? Now you're coming in from a place of power, and this is your path that you're going to make. And you're going to take feedback and suggestions, sure, because you know you're an open-minded person, but you're not going to go and just be led by people whose job it is to sell, okay? You're going to be the one in power here. Now, how you can figure out what you can afford, you can just do some basic math, just Google budgeting. If you have an extra $5, I have a Patreon where you can get your access to my budget calculator or Excel sheet. where you can just, plug in some numbers and I have but for example, if you make $10,000 and you take home, let's say $8,000, even though you qualify up to 5K, you can only really afford between $2,000 to $2,600, right? So using forms like this or calculators like this, or just doing your own independent research, you can find this stuff out on your own, do the research, do the work, and then go meet with somebody, right? So that way you're in a position of power, you're coming in and you're hiring a team to assist you. And if they're not living up to your standards, you can let them go, because this is your path and your journey. I hope this video brought you some value today, friends. Like I said, I didn't have the best financial education growing up, and I don't blame my dad and mom. They were busy surviving, and they didn't have the assistance. So now it's our job to break that generational curse and teach our children now with better tools and whatnot. So if you guys want to support me, you can hit like and subscribe. If you're looking to buy or sell a house in Phoenix, you can just reach out to me, and my contact information is below. And of course, my Patreon is there if you want access to this, and of course, bonus videos that I'll be posting there as well. Thank you guys so much. See you on the next one.